Carol asked us to spend a few minutes talking about our experiences at Knox and how they've impacted our lives and careers. And I've thought about this over the last few weeks. I think there are some very obvious and concrete outcomes from my Knox education that really have directly impacted where I am today. And probably first and foremost is the academic foundation to succeed in medical school, which set the stage for what's been a really rewarding career so far. I also developed critical thinking and writing skills that I use every day. But more importantly, it became pretty clear as I was thinking about this that what was most special about Knox, and in my mind is the college's biggest asset, was the faculty. Academically, Knox faculty were top-notch. They were passionate about their subject matter and passionate about teaching. They taught us facts, but also taught us to pursue things that we love to do. And it was pretty clear that the faculty wanted the students to succeed, and they inspired us to excel. They could be pretty tough at times, but they were also fair. And I'll give you just one example. And initially I thought Linda Davis might not remember this example, but now that she tells me that she was reviewing my grades from 1981, I'm not so certain. I thought the statute of limitations had run out on that. This incident occurred in histology class, and histology is the microscopic study of tissues and cells. And I love this subject because it's very visual. And I believe it was the end of the term, probably the final exam. It was a practical exam, so we were identifying different tissues and cells and subcellular structures under the microscope. And I was moving from microscope to microscope and answering the questions, and I thought I was doing pretty well. And then I got to one microscope, and I just blanked. I looked at it, and I knew I didn't know what it was. And I looked, and I looked at the cells surrounding the one that the arrow was on, and they all looked the same, so that wasn't going to help me. So I took a guess that it was a muscle fiber. I don't remember exactly when this happened, but Linda asked me to look at the section again, checking to make certain that the slide had not moved on the microscope stage. She didn't have to give me the opportunity, to look at the slide again, but she wanted to give me a fair chance. Unfortunately for me, the slide had not moved. It was the cell that I'd been looking at, and it was pretty clear at that point that it was not muscle. So it turned out to be adipose, or a fat cell, which is, and this is particularly ironic because years later I specialized in muscle diseases. And actually became pretty good at reading muscle biopsies. And Linda, I actually gave a little short talk this afternoon to some of the neuroscience students, and I hope I convinced you that I can tell the difference between fat and muscle cells, and I thank you for giving me the benefit of the doubt. But even more special was how engaged and integrated the Knox faculty was in the campus community. It wasn't at all unusual to meet up with faculty in the mailroom, in the gizmo, in the cafeteria. We were invited to the homes of faculty. Sometimes it was related to a curriculum, such as the classics readings at the Feinbergs. And Steve, I'd like to know why I always got the characters who were particularly vulgar to read. But other times it was just for fun, such as the games of murder at Dean Salter's house in Oneida. And sometimes history gets rewritten in our memories, and I'm sure that's the case with my memories of Knox. But the 70s were a pretty great time to be on campus. It was the end of the Vietnam War. The student body was very diverse. There was still a lot of activism. And I'm sure I learned a lot of facts back then, many of which I've since forgotten. But what has stuck with me are the conversations and the personal interactions I had back then. When I was a student, and even more so today, I realized how lucky I was to be part of a college community where the faculty was so engaged and involved in campus life, was committed to helping students succeed, and was so passionate about their fields of study. From them, I learned to follow my dreams and do something I love, and to participate in and give back to my community. I'm a better person because of my experiences at Knox. I've made lifelong friends here. I'm in a career that I love, and I hope that I'm making a difference in some small way. I sincerely thank you for this award.